Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second part of today's MMAOB Daily Podcast for Monday, February 27, 2023. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, and joined by my co-host here, Mr. Big Marcel. We're going to be previewing UFC 285, Marcel, and I can't wait to talk about this card. I mean, it is absolutely fucking stacked. It's going to be a great card, and I'm looking forward to talking about it with you, my friend. So, Marcel, I say we just get into it, but I want to get some comments here before we start. We have our boy Antoine. He says he's extremely hyped. He's going to the card in person. Nice, Antoine.
Nice.
First time going to an event. Wow. Yeah,
what an event.
you picked a pretty good card, man. I've seen Jones fight like 4 or 5 times. Every time he fought, because he used to fight in Toronto like all the time. I saw him fight a bunch of times. He's an awesome fighter to watch. Will they choosing his fighters to go continue? We'll see. So hyped for the card top bottom. Me too. Would you guys say is great? One of the greatest cards of all time. I mean, it looks really good. There's no doubt about it. We have to see how it plays out, but yeah, it looks great on paper. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens in this fight. Let's get into it, guys. I don't want to waste any time. I think we should just get into the card. So we'll start with the first fight of the night, which is actually a new. Or let me ask you this before we get into it: your overall thoughts on the card? Because for me, it is a great card. Your overall thoughts?
I like the card a lot, man. I saw many people are also saying like it's not that great. I think it's a great card, man. I mean, there is not many cards where you have like a Derek Brunson against a Dricus to Plessis or a Cody Garbrandt on a prelim. You know, it's a good card. You got Ian Garry on the early prelims, for example, and some other fun fights. You know. That's even the first fight of the night is very fun. It's it's actually 2 teammates fighting each other. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's a great card. I'm looking forward to talking about it with you, man. So let's get into it, Marcel. Start with the first fight of the night, which actually is a short notice fight, right? If I'm not mistaken, Marcel.
Yeah.
Loik Radzhabov, guys, is taking on Esteban Ribovics. He's filling in for Kamala Kirk.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be an Ultimate Fighter, but I guess this is why they pulled him from Ultimate Fighter, so we can get a UFC fight. He definitely deserves to be in UFC. He's a good fighter. So the odds for this one, obviously, are interesting because he is taking the fight at short notice, but is a big favorite here, Marcel, at minus 235. Ribovics plus 185. So what do you think, Marcel? Who wins this fight? And are you surprised the odds are so wide? Because if you looked at the first fight, there's supposed to happen. Ribovics was actually a 2-1 favorite against Kirk, and now he's a 2-1 underdog almost. So what do you think?
The thing is, Radzhabov is kind of established, you know, in PFL. You know, he fought twice in the finale, back to back. He's a really grindy fighter, I think. Didn't win. I think he lost to Nathan Schultz and to Rouge Mamfio in the finals. But I see why he's a favorite. Yeah, I know Esteban Ribovics is undefeated, look really good on the Contender Series, is a big prospect. But man, I mean, it sucks for him, to be really honest, dude, to go from Kamala Kirk to Loik Radzhabov, man. I think Radzhabov is a really good fighter, and I understand that he's favored here. You know, I think he grinds it out, probably wins a decision. Fun fight between, and those two know each other, you know, are teammates at Killcliff. So somebody messaged me about it, like both guys are at Killcliff. I was like, oh yeah, that's true. You know, I forgot Ribovics was there. So yeah. Good fight, and happy for Loik that he got the chance to go to the UFC without the Ultimate Fighter. Let's be honest, he shouldn't be on the Ultimate Fighter. He's way too good to be on the Ultimate Fighter as an upcoming guy, in my opinion. Okay. You know, and just like when I saw, like, I don't know if it's true that Timur Valiev was on the season. It's like, what the hell? Why? You that's weird. Radzhabov, yeah, I'm taking him by a decision. You know, I know disrespect to Ribovics. I think he's great, but this is a super tough debut, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think this is a harder fight for him, right? Yeah. No doubt about it. I mean, the guy's, I think he's undefeated, right? Like a lot of knockouts. And I actually was going to pick him against Kirk just because I think he could have finished Kirk. But
yeah,
I think this guy, Radzhabov, is just going to take him down and grind him out. I mean, like you said, Marcel, like a lot of experience, right? Like if you look at the PFL, he had some losses there as a favorite, you know, which kind of worries me a little bit. Because he did lose a few fights like to Alex Martinez, he was a favorite, and even against Roush Manfred, I think he was favored when he lost that fight. But like looking back, I mean, those are, especially Roush, he's not a bad fighter at all. Like it's not bad. So yeah, he is coming for PFL, but I think he was fighting better competition than Ribovics. Yeah, I think he's going to grind a decision on Marcel. Even with the short notice, I still think he wins the fight. So that's my pick on this one. Couple comments here. Hype likes Loik. Yeah, I agree with the experience comment. I agree with that. Oh, Gorilla's here. What's up, man? Thanks again for the photos, for the art on YouTube.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right, let's go to the next fight, Marcel. We have Damon Blackshear taking on Farid Basharat. This is not Trevin, it's his brother Farid. He's also a big favorite, though. Minus 410. Blackshear plus 330. What do you think?
Yeah, Farid is also a big talent. I favor him in this fight as well. The man Blackshear, he fought against Joseph Salal in his UFC debut, got a draw out of it. Um, he's an okay fighter, but not somebody I see making a huge splash in the UFC, in my opinion. Farid is the kind of guy I see coming far, just like his brother Javid. Both are really talented. I honestly think this fight will also go to a decision here, and I think Basharat will be really convincingly win this fight. I think he will be super dominant. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to pick him here too. Definitely going to pick Farid, and probably, well, either wins a decision or maybe submits the guy Damon. But although Damon, he looked like he could hold his own on the ground in that first fight with Yusuf Salal, that draw. But yeah, I can't pick him here. Odds are heavy, though. I'll say that. Odds are pretty heavy for a guy who is making his debut here in Basharat. But I think both the Basharat brothers are really good, Marcel. So I expect his brother to win the fight. Let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. Next fight is Jessica Penne taking on Tabatha Ricci, one of our favorites here on the podcast, Marcel. And we talked about this a few months ago. Ricci and Penne fell off at the last minute. I think Penne got sick on weigh-in day or something. Anyways, odds are basically the same as they were before. -230 for Ricci, +195 for Penne. My thoughts don't change. I liked Ricci before to win the fight. I still like her to win. Probably grinds the decision on Penne is really tough, and she's shown that throughout her career. So probably decision, but fully expect Ricci to win the fight. What do you think?
Ricci for sure, man. I mean, Penne looked horrible against Cody in our last fight. Before that, that Lupi Godinez fight, she didn't want that fight, in my opinion. And the Carolina fight was a good finish, still kind of fluky, in my opinion. I don't think it will be happening to a second time. Yeah, Ricci to me as well. Maybe she even finishes her. I don't think so. Probably decision with a lot of ground fighting. So for me, Tabatha Ricci here. Tabatha Ricci.
Yeah, I think she wins too. Go to the next fight here, Marcel. That was a quick one, but I mean, we're both on the same page.
Yeah.
We got Martinez taking on Cameron Saaiman, and odds for this one, Saaiman -250, Martinez +210. Your thoughts on this one?
That's a super tough one, actually, this one. It's still funny, man. Saaiman means boring man in the Netherlands. So Cameron Saaiman against Mana Martinez. He fought 3 times, in the UFC. Won 2 times by split decision and got that loss against Ronnie Lawrence in the fight in the 3rd round where he almost had Ronnie Lawrence. I always want to say Hani Lawrence for some reason. I don't know why. If you look at Saaiman, he had I think he had a bad first round against Stephen Koslow, but he came back and he finished him. It was a fight where he also got him with a low blow, I remember. But he finished him after. It's difficult because in the fight with Josh Wan Kim, what he had in the Contender Series, he was also doing bad in the first round, I think, and he came back as well. He's undefeated. I think in Mana, man. I think Mana has a dog in him. Can grind, can go crazy, can go 3 hard rounds. If Saaiman doesn't finish, I pick Mana. Pick Mana by a split or a unanimous decision. Close fight.
You're picking Mana. Interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't been too impressed by him in the UFC, man. I got to be honest. Like I had high hopes for the guy after his Fury FC. He looked really good, knocking everyone out. But I really haven't been impressed with him in the UFC. Like the Guido fight was super close. Barely wins the decision over a guy who's like 40 something. The Ronnie Lawrence fight, I mean, he knocked him down, but he also got knocked down 3 times and lost that fight. Got taken down a lot too. And then Brandon Davis, he did win the fight, Marcel, but very competitive fight against the guys on the UFC. I just haven't been super impressed. And I look at a guy like Saaiman. He's super young, right? He's only 22. And the first round against Kozlo was a little sketchy, but came back and destroyed him in the 3rd round. Again, 2 straight 3rd round finishes now for this guy. I think the UFC likes him. I think they're giving him a fight they think he can win, and I think he can win too, Marcel. I really do. So actually, he could finish this fight. I do believe in this guy. I think he's a really good prospect, man. I think he's going to have a good career. He just fought a few months ago. They're putting him back in the cage really soon. Another pay-per-view card. They're trying to build him up, and I think he's going to get another win. So we have a different opinion on this one, but I like Saaiman by finish. So I guess we would definitely have a different read in this fight because you liked Martinez by decision, which, I mean, it could happen, obviously. I mean, you never discount anyone. The line's somewhat close, but got to go with Cameron Saaiman for myself in this one. Do you think Mine's doing a different respect for Mana? Well, I don't think he's looked great, in my opinion, in the UFC. But, I don't know. Guido's not – well, he beat – what's his name? What's the guy's name? Randy Costa, right? Randy is a decent fighter, but, has a lot of holes in his game. Anyways, yeah, it's good to have a little split opinion here, Marcel, early in the podcast. Didn't expect it, but it's good. Now, the next fight here, I don't think we're going to have a split opinion on, but we'll see. We got Ian Machado Garry taking on Song Kenan, Marcel, in the welterweight division. Ian Garry minus 650, Song Kenan plus 475. I mean, Marcel, like, I really don't even understand this fight. Like, I just don't get it. Like, Song Kenan's coming off a knockout loss to Max Griffin, and Gary's on a roll here. He's undefeated, won 3 straight fights in the UFC. I don't really get the fight.
I should have given fucking Max Griffin, you know?
I don't understand this fight. I mean, I'm obviously taking Garry to win. I think he wins another decision probably, but maybe the UFC thinks this could be a fight where he gets a knockout, and that's why they booked it, I guess. I don't know. I think he definitely wins, though. The line's high, but I would be very surprised if we lost. What do you think?
It's just super annoying, you know? And I got to give it to Garry. He also said, like, he won another opponent. He asked for Barbarina, for example, but they didn't want to give it to him. Yeah, of course Gary's going to win this fight. You know, they just are trying to build him up, you know, and I don't like that. You know, I didn't like that with Sean O'Malley. I don't like that with Paddy Pimblett, and I don't like that with Ian Garry, you know. I think when you have a guy who is like minus 650 coming into fight week, it's bad matchmaking, you know what I mean? Then it's obviously who you want to win. And we have a worst case scenario in the main card, in the opener of the main card. But I mean, it just doesn't make sense, dude. He's gonna win against Song Kenan. If he loses this one, you know, his hype is completely gone, you know. Yeah. So he's definitely gonna win this one.
I completely agree. I mean, I'd be shocked if he lost the fight, to be honest with you. Again, the line's high, but like I think it's totally justified. Couple comments here. Feeding Ian some wins for sure. Andrew, what's up, man? He says, same reason they gave JDM Danny Roberts. True. That's I think Roberts was coming off a win over Amib, though. Like, this guy's coming off a knockout loss. I don't really get that. Anyways, Billy Garry become what? Don't see many top 15 guys. I think he'll get in the top 15, but yeah, we'll see. Like the Billy Garry slow until he starts finishing guys. True. What's with the stupid Machado name? It's his wife, Layla Anna Machado, or something, isn't that? It's like her last name, I think.
Yeah, Layla Machado. Yeah.
His wife she used to work for, I don't know if she works for Cage Warriors anymore. She used to be the host there. So, anyways, it worked well for O'Malley, to be fair. That's true. O'Malley's done really well. All right, let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. We got Marc-Andre Barriault, the power bar, representing Canada, against Julian Marquez, the Cuban Missile Crisis. I saw the Sodiq Yusuff thing. He's like the battle of two terrible nicknames. The loser should like be banished from their nickname forever, which I thought was funny. Odds for this one: Barriault favored minus 125, Marquez plus 105. Close fight on paper. What do you think?
What I think why the hell is Barriault favored? That's weird to me.
I think he opened as a dog. Let me double check that. The odds open, Marquez opened at minus like 150 basically. So the odds have flipped a little bit here.
So they're probably going off the Marquez loss against Gregory Rodriguez.
It was brutal.
It was really bad, but I still think that if Marc-Andre Barriault fights Rodriguez, he wouldn't do much better, to be really honest. Yeah, what can we say, man? The thing with Marquez is that he is not fighting very consistent, and that's the whole thing with Marquez. You know, we remember when he came back against Alvi, he didn't have a good looking there, but he finished him then late. Marc-Andre Barriault is also hit or miss. Sometimes he looks good, and sometimes you're like, what the hell are we watching? You know, remember when he came into the UFC, I think he went 0-3 in his first 3 fights. So I'm thinking Marquez here. I think he's a better fighter overall, and I think he gets maybe a late submission. If not, he wins the decision. But for me, Marquez here.
I can't trust the guy right now. I mean, he barely fights anymore. Marquez, I'm talking about. He barely fights. He fights like once a year now.
Can you trust Barriault?
Not really.
You can't trust either.
Hard to trust either guy. I have to pick Barriault just because I feel like he's a little bit more solid. But again, he is hard to trust. Like, his chin isn't great either. We saw him get knocked up by Chidi, right?
Yeah.
Up until that point, I think that was his first knockout loss. He was on a roll for a while there, and then kind of struggled lately, right? I think his last fight he got injured. He got submitted, but he was also injured in that fight. You know, Marquez. Here's the thing, Marcel. He's actually never landed a takedown in the UFC. That's the thing that if he was a takedown guy, if he had any sort of takedowns, I would pick him here because Barriault's takedown defense is not amazing. But he's never landed a takedown. He does have 3 submissions somehow, but it's because his opponents make mistakes or he rocks a guy and then grabs their neck. I feel like Barriault could just kind of press him against the fence and grind out a decision here. But again, you know, I'm not betting on this fight. I'll stay away from it. It's a close odds for a reason. Kind of feel like it looks like that Barriault and Dalcha fight from 2 years ago, where he just kind of like pushed him against the fence, landed some better strikes, and That's what I think happens here. But yeah, I not a fight I really want to bet on. What's up, Michael? He says he likes Marquez as a dog. Barry's not that good. I don't think either guy's great personally. Marquez bites more than he could chew, hence the Miley Cyrus fumble. Oh yeah, he definitely fumbled the bag on that one, Marcel. There's no doubt about that. What's up, George? How's it going, man? Who's coaching Julian? He's in Vegas now, I believe, right? I think is he at Syndicate, if I'm not mistaken, Marcel?
Yeah, I think he's at Syndicate.
Yeah, I think so too. So he's obviously got a better camp now than the guy who was betting on all his fights. Let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. We have the women's flyweights, Viviane Araujo, I think, and Amanda Ribas. Odds for this one, Ribas minus 130, Araujo plus 110. I actually want to hear your thoughts on this fight because, again, this is a very close odds. What do you think about this one?
You know who I want to win, but I'm going to be honest. I think Araujo is very strong for 125, and I think Amanda Ribas should go back to 115. That's what I think. She did well against Chukagian. She arguably won the fight, and if she would have won the fight, she would have been in the top of the flyweight division, Now she's fighting Araujo. Very difficult fight to pick here. It's definitely going through the full 3 rounds, in my opinion. I'm taking Araujo for a decision. I think she's good enough to take Ribas off of her submissions, and I think Araujo is a little bit of a stronger girl than Ribas. So I'm taking Araujo with pain in my heart, but Araujo is going to win this.
Well, we have a consensus dog, Marcel, because I also like Araujo. So there we go. Got a consensus dog, guys. Yeah, I just think she's going to keep the fight standing. I do think she's a better striker. I think Ribas has some holes in the game. We've seen that. I think it'll be competitive. There's no doubt it's going to be competitive. It'll probably be like, a fight that goes the distance. I'm pretty sure this fight goes the 3 rounds, but I think, like you said, she's the bigger, stronger fighter. I also feel like Ribas should be at 115. I'm not really sure why she's made this move to 125. I don't know if I like it that much for her. They both had close fights with Chukagian, but that's interesting to look at. But yeah, I don't know. I think Araujo, I know she lost to Grasso and didn't look great, but it's not like she got completely blown out either. That 5-round experience, I think, will probably help her a little bit here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this fight goes the distance. That might be the play, if anything. What's the fight goes the distance? Minus 250. It's high, but I don't see a finish in this fight. I'll say that right now. Do you?
Same.
Yeah.
No.
But I like Araujo too. So Araujo by decision, that would be my pick. Odds on that. Plus 185. That's not bad at all, to be honest with you. That's not bad at all. I feel like that's the way this fight will end. So. Yeah. All right. Joe Eagle also likes that. Me too. This is just the best. Makes me happy. Yeah, she's definitely like a fun, loving person. I mean, she's a good fighter too. I think she should be 115.
That picture with Alex Pereira, where she was looking serious and Alex was laughing.
Yeah, I know, that's funny. Viviane's poor cardio. I think 3 rounds helps. I think Ribas can grapple 2 rounds. What is Araujo's takedown defense? 90%. I think it's gonna be hard to get her down consistently. She might get her down once or twice, but holding her down is going to be hard to do, guys, I think. But I agree the cardio is not great. It is only 3 rounds, though. Do you guys think it's impressive Garry made his UFC debut after 2 years after his amateur debut? For sure. There's a lot of guys in that situation now, though, which is crazy. A lot of guys are coming up really fast. Antoine, any update in Carter's situation? Heard the FBI involved. I haven't heard any updates, but yeah, the last thing I heard was FBI was involved. Both usually black belts are usually a lot better than striking. That's kind of what I think, too. No, glad to have you here, my friend. Fight talk, what's going on? He likes Ribas. Okay, fair enough. Rooting for Ribas coin toss. It's a close fight. Pure May breakdown, what's up? Picking Gane. We'll talk about that fight in a few minutes, my friend. Natalia Silva versus Ribas. Who would you root for? I think Marcel's picking.
Okay, George, I already accept your apology in advance because you asked me this. So,
what do you guys think of the PE stuff on Tatiana? Do the acne or back? I didn't see anything about that. But anytime someone has acne, people always accuse them of back acne. They should say they accuse them of PDs. Here's some memory. I told you Ribas saved me from a burning house. I got your back, brother. That's funny. All right, we'll go to the next fight here, Marcel. We have we got it here already. Wow. Derek Brunson taking on Dricus du Plessis in the middleweight division. Great fight here. Odds for this one, we got du Plessis favored minus 240, Brunson plus 200. Marcel, you're picking this one. Or does it? You have to wait till the weigh-in to see what color Brunson's hair is.
So the thing is, like, I really like Dricus du Plessis, but I'm not convinced, dude, with this cardio, And I know that he got the win last time against Darren Till, but Darren Till looked like shit in the 3rd round. You know what I mean? Was completely gone. And he also had got out cardio. And I think with Brunson, I think Brunson can go 3 rounds. He can go 5 rounds. We saw that before, So for Dricus, it's the most smart thing to get him out early. That's the only thing he should do. If he doesn't get him out early, he will be in trouble probably with Brunson, with the ground game. And the thing is, what's going to happen is Dricus going to finish the fight early, or isn't he? And I might think that Brunson can overcome the first round. And I think Brunson wins the decision, man, at the end.
Dude, I mean, I don't mind an upset pick here at all, I've been backing Du Plessis, but I can't back him in this fight because I think the line is a little bit excessive. Like, he's looked good, don't get me wrong, but with the 4 wins, but I mean, the Till fight was a little sketch, right? And that was the second round. It looked sketchy. Ended up coming back and winning, but it's not like Till's great. With Till, took him down at 1.2. It just really depends if Brunson can get the takedowns or not. I think it's possible. I would stay away from this one personally. Based on the line, Marcel, it probably is dog or pass. But, for me, it's like I can't pick Brunson here. He's almost 40 years old now, guys, and his chin has always been questionable to me. He's got a lot of knockout losses, and Du Plessis got power. So that's why I'm going Du Plessis by knockout, but I do think the line's high. And for me, it's going to be a pass. But I'll pick the favorite here. I do think the odds are a little bit wide, though. I'm going to get some comments here, guys. A lot of people talking about this one. Value on Brunson, possibly. I can't think what Marcel did, so, I mean, there you go. Brunson low-key live underdog here, possible. Got Dricus here. Me too, John. I picked him too. Not high on Dricus, but I think he wins against Brunson, which is probably really silly. Probably. That's fair. I don't know if he beats the top guys either. I mean, we kind of saw some holes in this game against Till, right? He came back and won, but that was sketch. Brunson looked gassed after round with Kenan here. Yeah. Brunson has so much experience, though, too. I mean, that's another reason I'm guessing you like him, Marcel. Gorilla says, Du Plessis started to fade during the. I keep thinking it's like Diamond Dallas Page, the wrestler. Remember him? The DDT? Yeah, it was a little sketch for sure. Betting odds for Du Plessis Brunson, what betting odds should have been for Du Plessis? You're talking about Till, right? I think Marcus. I know you were. I think Marcus, you posted your thing. I think you bet like 5 or 10K on Du Plessis in that fight. I'm pretty sure you posted his bet slip. Second, Du Plessis hits Brunson flush. Brunson's not going to recover. That's kind of what I think happens to you, Andrew. But again, there is some worry with the wrestling, right? And Brunson's. I would assume Brunson has better cardio too, right? So this pure MMA breakdown guy hates Du Plessis apparently. That's funny. Patrick, what's up, man? Same thing I saw when I saw line. I think Brunson gets finished, but odds you can't touch it. That's kind of what I think happens too. So looks like everyone's kind of got the same view where, it feels like the value's on Brunson, but it's kind of hard to trust him here against a guy with a lot of knockout power. But plus 200, Marcel, he's got a clear path with the wrestling too, right? That's the thing. So this is funny. Du Plessis, the S is silent. Yes.
It's like what the Sudik used to say about Jamal Hill. It's like Jamal Hill. Oh no, Jamal Hill, because his parents put that extra H for more.
Yeah. Blades has never been underdog. Blades and Pavlovich, yeah, I think he'll be favored. Blades should be favored. I mean, I think right with the wrestling. Solo the finish. Many refs thought the fight. True, that's true. Versus Till. Anyways, all right, let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. We're the last fight in the prelims. Cody Garbrandt taking on Trevin Jones. Odds for this one: Cody Garbrandt minus 165, Trevin Jones plus 140. All right, let me start on this one. So I've been thinking about this fight a lot, to be honest with you. I think it's a really interesting fight. So the thing is, like, Garbrandt is obviously a good fighter, and we've seen that he can beat the best guys in the world. We saw him beat Dominic Cruz. But here's the thing, guys: like, Cody has one win in the last 7 years, or last 6 years, I should say, since 2016, anyways, against. Dominic Cruz, or against Sunsup, excuse me, in 2020, I think it was. He knocked him out. It was a nice win. But other than that, man, he's losing. Yes. Now, here's the thing. He's been losing to really good guys. Okay? We'll give him some slack here. Kai France, Rob Font, Pedro Munoz, and then TJ, right? I get it. But I just don't know if he can take a punch anymore. He gets dropped in every single fight now, and he doesn't really recover from it. You also know that he kind of fights with his heart on his sleeve, and sometimes it just goes to war. Like that Pedro Munoz fight was crazy. Like the way he fought was not smart, right? And now he's going in there against, I can't believe that was 4 years ago. Holy crap. Anyways, he's going in there against Trevin Jones now, who, listen, Trevin Jones has not looked great lately, right? But if you look, again, closely, like he's lost to Barcelos, who's a good fighter, Basharat, who's a good fighter, and Kakamurov, I know he got cut, but he's a good fighter. He also knocked out Mario Batista as an underdog, and he knocked out Timur Valiev as an underdog and got popped for weed. And I know that the fight could have been stopped. Marcel, I know you talk about that every time we talk about Trevin Jones. We always talk about that fight with Chris Taioni, but he still won the fight by knockout. He's got power, and he's got decent takedown defense, not great but decent. This fight's probably going to stay in the feet, so it's going to be Garbrandt trying to outpoint Jones. I don't see him knocking Jones out. He's going to have to outpoint him for 3 rounds and avoid the power for 3 rounds. I don't know about if he can do it, Marcel. Honestly, I think I have to go with Trevin Jones on this one, Marcel. Here's a dog pick for me. I'm going with Trevin Jones. I think he could finish it, man. Plus 140 is not bad, and then Jones by knockouts plus 300. I have to take a shot on that. I have to fade the chain on Garbrandt. And I just think there's value on it. Even if it loses, I won't feel bad about that bet. Plus 300, it's a guy that has been knocked out in 4 of his last 5 fights. I have to take a shot on it. So I'll go with the dog here, Marcel. Trevin Jones. I'll take him by knockout. There's my underdog pick here. What do you think?
I don't know, man. That's still it's difficult, but I'm taking Cody to win by decision here. I think he will do enough to get the decision win. Maybe he can knock him out, but I don't think so. I think Travis' chin is pretty decent, and Cody's chin is the thing that worries me as well. But still, I think he has a higher output, and he just does better. So I'm going with Cody here, although I'm not sure. And this is the last fight for Cody, man. If he loses, then it's over. I think, So decision for Cody here, but I'm not sure at all.
Let me get some comments here, guys. Sorry, let me start with this one. Lost potential dogs in the card, and this is one I think is definitely a dog this is a live dog. Which is more impressive, Garbrandt, Cruz, or McGregor with Alvarez? I think McGregor Alvarez was one of the most impressive performances of all time. Adam just pulled the Sugar Sean diss on Cody. Oh, I did? Oops. Cody, bite down your mouthpiece. Not want to see my boy lose. It's sketch. If when Jones KO'd him, the UFC wish they had booked Saeed Yokup against him instead. True. Because it's all matchups, right? And Saeed Yokup doesn't really have that power. You could submit him, right? Or wrestle him. But Garbrandt's got decent takedown defense, no doubt. Crazy Jones is older than Cody. He's been fighting a long time, man. He's got a lot of experience. Fight so sketchy, could go either way. Trevin, good striking defense, low striking output for sure. He just needs to catch him with one shot, though. Can Cody have a resurgent challenge for another title at age 33? No chance. No way. There's just too many good fighters at bantamweight now, guys. It's such a stacked division. Trevin's never been KO'd. Exactly. He's got a good chain, and dude, he's got a lot. If you look at a lot of Trevin's losses, they're all by decision, right? Especially when his career split. He's got 7 or 8 split decision losses.
I think you go with either Cody by decision or Trevin by knockout.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to do either. Actually, what is Cody by decision? Just to see, because that's kind of what I was thinking, and then I thought about it more, Marcel. I kind of switched. That's plus 500. So there's definitely some value in that because Trevin's is very tough. That's kind of a crazy line now that I'm looking at it. What the books are expecting him to knock Jones out? I don't really. Garbrandt side of distance is even money, but him by decisions plus 500, that's weird. That line will change. There's no way that line's going to stay the same. The guy's never been knocked out. This guy likes Jones by knockout too. Cody's better fighter, but Jones knockout round 1's plus 1,000. Wow, that's interesting too. After Cody beat Cruz, I was sure he's going to be a big superstar in the UFC. From his fall from grace is bad. It is. His chin is just gone, man. His chin's gone. That's what Birch is saying. I agree, Birch. Again, he's been knocked out by pretty good fighters, but he just can't take a punch anymore. It's sad, but it happens to fighters. It happens to a lot of good fighters. He's talking about Connor and Eddie. We'll talk about that after, man. We want to stick to the preview right now, if you don't mind. Let's go to the next fight, Marcel. We're on the main card now, Marcel. We reached it pretty quick. Bo Nickal makes his UFC debut against Jamie Pickett. Crazy odds on this one, Marcel. Minus 1,400. I'm seeing minus 2,000 up there. Plus 850 on Jamie Pickett. But let's be real here. The only way this guy loses is if he gets injured or something in the fight. There's just no way he loses. Bo Nickal's a super prospect. Going to have a great career. Probably will be a champion one day with that wrestling and also the knockout power. Jamie Pickett's not good. Remember, actually, I predicted this fight would happen. Remember, Marcel? I'm they're going to give him someone who's just terrible, the worst ranked guy, and they did. They actually gave it to him. Jamie Pickett's not a good fighter. He's 2-4 in the UFC. He's been knocked out three times or submitted 3 times. I think, you know what? A lot of people are going to pick Nickal by submission because that's how his last 2 fights ended, right? In Contender. I think he knocks him out, Marcel. I think he's going to make a statement here. Plus 275 by knockout for Bo Nickal. I think there's value on it, guys. I really think he knocks him out. He actually knocked his first opponent out in Icon FC, I think was Masvidal's promotion. I think you're going to see that here. Bo Nickal by knockout plus 275. That's the play. What do you think?
I go Bo Nickal by submission first round. This is a worse fight than Garry against Kenan,
Yeah.
Bo Nickal shouldn't fight a guy like Jamie Pickett, in my opinion. You saw what he did to Zach Borrego and Donovan Beard in the Contender Series. And, yeah, man, I mean, it's just a showcase fight. And in my opinion, there shouldn't be showcase fights in the UFC. So, yeah, Nickal's going to win. I mean, imagine putting money on Jamie Pickett and he pulls it off, but it's not going to happen. Bo Nickal wins this one.
You can't pick him. I mean, there's no chance. Like the way to pick this fight is to think about how you want to pick Bo Nickal. But again, like just looking at the odds too. And I mean, I just looked at them now, so I wasn't even thinking this because I just think he knocks him out. He's gonna put on a show, man. I think inside distance is minus 750, which is crazy. Nickal by submission is minus 205, but knockouts plus 275. There's got to be value there. Also, Nickal in round 1 probably wins. It's minus 190. This fight won't last very long. Jamie Pickett's going to get cut after this. Again, I'm with you. They shouldn't have even made this fight, to be honest with you. Bo Nickal's getting special treatment for sure. He is. Bo's going to fight for the belt in this year, maybe. I don't know. The UFC's definitely going to push him up the ladder because he's getting pay-per-view opening slot. First fight in the lights. Love to see some jitters. I don't think we're going to see them. This guy has been fighting at, or not fighting, I should say wrestling at the highest level. He's always been like a superstar in sports. He's going to have a great career in the UFC, man. I think this guy's legit as fuck. Like, he's one of the most legit prospects we've seen. Didn't pick it up like a 50-punch combo. He had a good knockout over, I think his name was Jonathan Patti. It was a great knockout, but since then, to me, he hasn't looked good in the UFC. That's right. Bo did drop him in that fight and then submitted him after. I think he knocks him out, man. That's what I think happens here, guys. All right, we'll go to the next fight here. This could be fight of the night, Marcel. I mean, this fight has such an awesome fight, such an awesome matchup. The other Turner is taking on Mateusz Gamrot. Obviously, Dan Hooker was supposed to have this fight and then pulled out. I think he got injured or something. Gamrot stepped in on I want to say it was like a month's notice. It wasn't like a week. He had like a month for this fight, I believe. And that's why I think he's favored here. Gamrot is minus 170. Turner's plus 145. This is one of the, I think, trickier fights to pick in the card because Gamrot is really good, but Turner's looked like fucking amazing lately with the 5 straight wins by stoppage. At the same time, Marcel Starrigas, I just think Gamrot, he's been fighting like really good competition lately, and I know he lost to Dariush, but that Armin fight was just so impressive to me, and the fact he won that fight. We know his grappling is really good, and one of the things about Turner is, and I know he's such a good finisher, right? And we've seen that lately, and he's been submitting guys. But here's the thing: like that one loss he had against Frivola, he got taken down a lot in that fight. I kind of feel like Gamrot's going to follow that same game plan here. Just play it safe. He's got to get a win. He actually lost his last fight, right? So he needs to get back in the winning ways. I think he's going to kind of play it safe and grind him out for a decision win here. That's what I'm thinking happens, Marcel. Gamrot by decision, but it is a competitive fight, and would be surprising to me if Turner finished this guy. No, because he's on a roll and he's really big and strong for the division. But I think he's going to get taken down and grind it out. So that's my pick. Gamrot by decision. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Gamrot replacing Dan Hooker. He was too busy doing TMC duties for New Zealand.
Is that true?
I'm just because he was talking about the IV with Marquez, I say that.
Yeah.
Without any evidence. Yeah, I feel like I think Gamrot is the better fighter, man. That's what I feel. I think Jalen Turner would have destroyed Dan Hooker, but he's not going to win against Mateusz Gamrot. I think Gamrot might take him down. I even get a finish in the second round with a submission for Gamrot. I think he's overall a better fighter. I think Turner is very talented. As long as he doesn't take his tarantulas in the octagon, I think Gamrot will likely win. So submission win second round, Mateusz Gamrot. And if not, he wins the decision, I think. Definitely, I pick Gamrot here. I think he's a better fighter overall, more seasoned fighter, more proof fighter. But man, I respect Turner a lot. He's a great fighter as well. But he's young. He still can come far. But
plus his Instagram gives you the shivers, right, with the tarantulas.
Oh, dude, no, not just, but the Instagram story, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Gamrot versus Turner could play out like Turner's fight. That's exactly what I just said. Vince Frivola. I think honestly, I think he needs to get a win here. He's going to kind of, I wouldn't say play it safe, but he'll just go for takedowns. Taylor hasn't signed his bout agreement. Is this what? No, this fight's official. This fight's official, George. He did an interview with our boy James Lynch. This fight's 100% official. And I'm pretty sure it's on UFC. Yeah, it's on the website now. It wasn't there a few days ago, so that's fair. But it's there now. Personally, think this fight Jones Garbrandt hardest fights to pick, says Patrick. Fair enough. Jalen might knock him if he still has takedowns. Maybe. And he did get dropped by Armin in that fight. He ended up winning the fight, but that drop. Do you guys think Hooker's accusation of saltiness or something to it? They have no proof. They've just been saying this, and it makes them look like sore losers. I got to be honest, Marcel. That's what I think. But it was such a great fight. Why did they take away from it? Could be seeing a future champion, the future bout. Can't wait for it for sure. All right, let's get to the next one here, Marcel. This is such a great fight. Jeff Neal taking on Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat's huge favorite, minus 500. Jeff Neal plus 400. I mean, I like Jeff Neal. He's a good fighter, but how can you pick him here? Like, Shavkat's the real deal, man. He's awesome. He has unbeaten record. All his wins are by stoppage, and he's made it look easy in the UFC. He's fighting good fighters and made it look easy. Like, Neil Magny is a really good fighter. He completely fucking dominated and wasn't even close. And I hate doing MMA math, but remember when Neil Magny fought Jeff Neal? Like, dude, he beat him, right? So, like, and it was not exactly like Jeff's best performance. I get it, but it wasn't like a hard fight for Neil. Now, again, it's a different matchup. I get it, but dude, I just don't see how he wins the fight. Like, he'll have to keep it standing and knock him out. But and he does have good takedown defense, 90%, which is interesting. But I still think Shavkat gets him down. I think Shavkat gets him down, gets another submission. And you know, Marcel, like, if he wins this fight by submission, like I think he will, or by stoppage, because all his wins are by stoppage, they're gonna have to like put him in against the top 5 opponent next, because he's right there if he beats Jeff Neal by stoppage. I'm Shavkat all day for me, and I think the line is high, but it's justified, man, because he's a super prospect. What do you think?
Shavkat submission second round for me. Listen, man, got a lot of respect for Jeff Neal. I think he's super legit, but man, Shavkat, he's special. You know, he's special. Mm-hmm. I love to see that fight with with Khamzat Chimaev. Many people are saying would be crazy. Yeah, I'm definitely taking Shavkat here. I think he looked great so far. He's good on the ground. He's good stand up. Super solid what we've seen so far. So yeah, for me, Shavkat as well.
I definitely think he wins this fight, guys. All right, a couple other comments. Patrick says he's going to drop somebody and Neal by knockout. I mean, that's the way he'd win, but I don't think this is a great matchup. That's true. He was sick. You're right, against Magny. Fair enough. I think Shavkat wins. I mean, I think Shavkat beats most guys in the division. You know, it's not really taking much away from Jeff. It's just a bad fight for a lot of guys. Mm-hmm. The house on Shavkat and Nickal. Both guys win. I mean, the odds wouldn't be great. That's about as square as a fucking parlay as I've ever seen, beer chip. Yeah. I mean, like, if you put those two and then like a Valentina, maybe, like, you might get, like, I have to check. I'll check what a parlay is on that. By the way, he wants to update Colby. I haven't heard anything. We haven't heard much about him in a long time. Neal's good takedown defense, good boxing. We've seen his ceiling spots. I just don't think he wins this fight. All right, Marcel. Next fight, we have the co-main event, and we have Valentina taking on Alexa Grasso. And Valentina is a minus 600 favorite, and Grasso plus 450 dog. So huge underdog here. What do you think, man? I mean, do you see any way Grasso wins the fight or no?
No, not really. But I'm kind of disappointed in Valentina, I gotta say, man. She turned on Santos twice, man.
Is that true?
Yeah, she was. She got Santos offered for Brazil. In January, she turned her down. I understand maybe in Brazil that she got her offered for February and she turned her down as well. So she didn't want to fight Santos. And then she goes online saying nobody wants to fight her. I was like, you turned down Santos. What you're saying, you know? Now she's fighting Grasso. Yeah, listen, man, Grasso looked really good at flyweight. She's undefeated at flyweight, but now she's fighting Valentina. Valentina is different kind of person to fight, you know, super solid. But I think Valentina will probably decision her. I don't see anything crazy, you know. I go with a decision here for Valentina.
That's my read in the fight too. Because I think a lot of people think she'll submit her, which is possible, but I actually kind of favor by decision. I think Grasso's, you know, pretty tough, pretty durable. She got finished once by was it Tatiana? That's it. Yeah, right? She fought Carla and went the distance with her. It was a pretty competitive fight. She has a hole in the ground game, I think. I know she beat Joanne Wood on the ground, but I'm looking at the odds right now too. Valentina inside the distance minus 160, by decisions plus 200. I think that's the way to go here, guys. Take her by decision. There's definitely value in that prop. By the way, I just checked. So someone asked earlier, I think it was the last podcast, like, you prefer parlays or straight bets? I prefer straight bets, but it depends on the odds. You can't really bet minus 600 straight. Like, it's not the best bet. So in this case, you'd have to parlay her. But I just checked. If you parlay Valentina with Shavkat and Bo Nickal, it's minus 200. If you add Ian Garry, it's like minus 130. So I don't see any of those four fighters really losing their fights. I'm just saying, like, that's a squares parlay you'll get, but the odds are not bad at all, to be honest with you. If you add Farid Basharat, it's plus money too. They're all huge favorites. Don't really see anyone winning, but just takes one to lose your parlay, right? So that's it. A couple comments here. By the way, Valentine did an interview with Ariel. She said that Aaron still Green wants to fight more times during the title shot. Thoughts? I don't know. She's always saying there's no one wants to fight her, but I think all these people want to fight her. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I like Valentina though. She did an interview with her boy James. I gotta give James a shout out because James Lynch, he's our friend, and he had her before Ariel too, which is awesome. Santos had visa issues, yeah, apparently.
Santos doesn't have visa issues. Her partner has visa issues.
Is her husband? It's her husband, I think.
Yeah.
Valentina's 34. What age do you guys see retiring? Depends, man. I mean, because again, her and Amanda are so dominant in their divisions that it's like depends what they want to do. Really, I think she could retire anytime she wanted, but why retire when she's making? She probably I don't know what she makes. I'm guessing like $500,000, maybe less, maybe $250,000, but she's definitely making good money. She's definitely making more than like they're probably 250 to 500. I would guess, Marcel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she gets pay-per-view points. Maybe not. I don't know, but she's definitely making a good flat rate. Someone told me Sheb called for Rina Kai in Japan on a type fight. Speak undefeated, leave UFC back at her natural weight class of flyweight. Huh, that's interesting. I remember when Rin fought Tate, yeah. Grasso by decision, Edgar Penn type one fight performance. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't really see it though, man. I think because the thing is, I think on the feet it's actually competitive. I've seen some breakdowns where people are like, Valentina's going to light her up on the feet. I don't see it that way. I think Valentina will take her down. That's why I think the fight will play out on the ground. Who's Valentina fight next? I think Aaron. Dana White kind of said that he wants to see that fight. And again, Santos should get the fight, but if she can't get the matchup because of the visa issue with her husband or cornerman or whatever, Antoine loves this fight because he loves Valentina. Fair enough. Road to UFC 2 matchups. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So like 2-1, so you'd have to like bet 200 to win 100 in that parlay. Basically, that's what it means. The lost popular bet this week going to be Jones Valentina parlay. Okay, we'll talk about that fight in a sec. Is Val overlooking Alexa calling girls a rise and differentiate Aaron? I think so a little bit, but I still think she wins the fight, man. I really do. All right. Yeah, that's what Dan likes that bet. I think they'll win, Dan. I mean, or Daniel. Yeah. Again, you're not getting plus money, but you're getting 3 huge favorites, and the line's not crazy. All right, Marcel, we'll get to the main event now. I'm looking forward to talking about this one with you, man, because I definitely feel like we're going to have some interesting opinions in the chat, and, I'm going to have an interesting opinion. You are too, I'm sure. We got John Jones taking on Ciryl Gane for the UFC vacant heavyweight title here, and I can't wait for this fight, guys. So start with the odds. John Jones, minus 155 favorite, Gane plus 135 underdog. Odds opened with Gane actually as like a minus 166 favorite, and Jones at plus 140, and they've steadily obviously switched the other way. It'd be interesting to see what the line closes at by Saturday. I'm guessing Jones will probably be around this, if not a little bit of a bigger favorite, just because of the name value and the hype. So here's my thoughts on this fight. And I'll get your thoughts afterwards. So I want to start on this because I have a lot to say about this fight.
For sure, go ahead.
So, John Jones to me is the greatest fighter of all time. Regardless of all the PED issues, everything. To me, he's the best talent I've ever seen. Like, he's the most naturally gifted MMA fighter I've ever seen in my life. Like, what he did, Marcel, during the last decade before the break at light heavyweight was exceptional. Especially that first year, Marcel, where or the second year, I should say, where he just came out of the woodwork and was finishing all those ex-champions, right? Like Machida, Shogun, Rashad, like he didn't finish Rashad, but he beat him. Rampage. Even submitted Ryan Bader back when Bader won Ultimate Fighter. Like, it was beyond impressive what he was doing. Vitor Belfort. And then, going through the list of names throughout the years, like Glover, Gustafson, DC twice, OSP at the time was not bad. Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Dominic Reyes. I get it, right? Like, what he's done is amazing. And again, especially early in his career, but that was 12 years ago now. It's been a while. Here's the thing. He's 35 now. He's going to turn 36 this year. He's getting up there in age. He has not fought in over 3 years. He's had a lot of issues outside the cage with PEDs, with drugs of abuse, with other the domestic violence stuff, like a lot of stuff outside the cage that has kept him out for 3 years. Now he's moving up a weight class. We have no idea how he's going to look at heavyweight. He might go in there and dominate. Again, I think he's the greatest fighter of all time. And if anyone's going to move up weight class and dominate, it's going to be a guy like John Jones. Because you saw what GSP did when he moved up to middleweight and destroyed Bisping, right? Like, these legends can do that. Like Anderson Silva, when he went to 205, destroyed everyone like Forrest Griffin. I get it, right? But the thing is, Marcel, the thing I have a problem with picking Jones here is the long layoff, the move up in weight class, and also the fact that, quite frankly, the last 2 fights against Reyes and Santos, I actually thought the other guys won those 2 fights. And that was at 205, and that was a few years ago. Here's the other thing. at 205, one of the biggest advantages Jones always had was the size with the height and reach. He doesn't have that advantage against Gane in this fight. He's the same height, and the reach is only 3 inches. It's not like when he fought DC where he had 10-inch reach advantage, 12-inch reach advantage. Excuse me. Oh my god, or a Glover, he had 6-inch reach advantage. All these guys, for the most part, had a much shorter reach. The one guy that didn't was Gustafsson, who he gave him a lot of problems back in 2013. It was 10 years ago. Can't believe that fight was 10 years ago now. And also in the last couple of fights with Santos and Reyes, those guys have a bit of a longer reach and gave him a little bit of trouble. I just have no idea how Jones is going to look, and I just don't know if I can trust him anymore. It's crazy because I've never picked against Jon Jones. I've picked him in every single fight he's ever been in. Marcel, I've won good money off Jon Jones. He's been one of those guys who's like an ATM machine. You bet on him, you win your money, and obviously the odds have been high for the most part, except when he fought DC, the odds were pretty low for those fights. But for the most part, been a big favorite. But he's come through every single time. He's the guy you can trust. But after a 3-year layoff, moving up in weight, all the issues outside the cage, I just have a hard time trusting him. And then you look at Ciryl Gane. I get it; he doesn't have a ton of experience, but dude, he's a natural little MMA fighter. There's no doubt about it. He's a natural at the sport. 8-1 in the UFC. The only loss was to Francis, a very close fight where he made a mistake in the 5th round where he went for that leg lock and ended up on bottom. Had he not did that, he might have won that fight and won the belt. I know that Ty rocked him in the last fight. He recovered quick, knocked him out, brutal fashion. Got a ton of power here. Great striker. Pretty good wrestling. Not the best. And I think that's Jones's path to victory here is the takedowns, right? That would be the way. But I don't know, Marcel. I just don't know if I can pick Jon Jones at heavyweight. I kind of feel like the odds makers, when they opened Gane as the favorite, kind of feel like they had it right. I don't blame people for betting on Jones because he's the best fighter ever. I might look like an idiot here, Marcel, but I'm picking Ciryl Gane, man. I'm going to take him to win. I just trust him more. He's been way more active. Since Jones's last fight, Gane has 6 fights, I think. So just way more active, man. Been fighting good fighters, been looking good, rapidly improving. And again, I think he matches up well with Jon Jones. John's going to have to get him down to the ground. I think on the feet, it's going to be a problem for him. So my pick is Ciryl Gane, Marcel. I think he can possibly catch him and finish him because I just don't trust Jones after being away for so long. Again, I might get egg on my face, guys, on next Monday. We talk about this, and Jones might go and dominate him, and I might be like, why did I pick against Jon Jones? But I have to. I have to take the plus money and Gane. I'm taking Gane. What do you think, man?
So I never picked against Gane, and I never picked against Jones. Yeah. The thing is, for me, is like, I think Jones can get it to the ground at a certain moment, And the thing is also like what Gane said in his pre-fight interview, like, I don't really like to prepare for a fight unless I have a fight. I'm kind of lazy. Mm-hmm. And Jones said, like, I pretty much always training when I have to train, and he likes to train as well, And he's like, and Jones can fight dirty, you know what I mean? Dirty to win a fight, and not dirty in a dirty way as like in a cheating way, but he can go nasty in a fight, And we haven't seen that from Gane because he didn't need that. Yeah, he actually needed it against Ngannou, but we didn't saw it in the last 3 rounds. It's difficult to say how will Jones do at heavyweight. His how do you say that? He will be heavier there, obviously. How will he carry that? I have no idea. But still, I mean, if I look at the talent from both guys, I think Gane is still improving, and Jones is just pretty much there where he should be, I think, But he's super talented,
Oh yeah,
he's super talented.
Absolutely.
Man, it's my initial pick was Gane in the beginning when the fight got announced, but I kind of switched.
Fair enough.
I think Jones wins the fight. I think he wins the decision. I think he mixes both. So how do you say that? Stand up with the ground game.
Yep.
And I don't really rate his last fights against Reyes and against Santos. And I don't do that because I feel like that Jones fought these fights just as another title defense. Not really being hyped to fight, just going in, fight. Let's see if I can beat this guy. and then it's okay. But right now he's got something to prove. You know, he is back after 3 years, fighting for a heavyweight title. Finally, he can become the guy who gets light heavyweight and heavy. He can pretty much did what Cormier did before, you know, and he can take that away from Cormier as well. You know, and he will do definitely everything. Although they're really nice to each other, man, as of lately. But still, you know, I don't really believe that if they like each other or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, Jones will probably go for it, and I think Jones wins. Decision win over Ciryl Gane. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight. I mean, you're going to see a lot of really different opinions on this fight. You're going to see some really strong opinions either way, I think, Marcel, just because it is such an intriguing fight. And I love matchups like this, right? Because, like, really, we don't know. You know, I just think there's so much unknowns, though, about Jones. And I can't confidently pick. And again, first time ever picking against him. Now that I think about it, I think it's the first time picking against, I've never been against Gane either, Marcel. So I'm with you. Like, we're at this spot now where we have to pick against someone. I gotta take the guys who are way more active. Now there's a lot of comments here, guys. Let me get the comments. And then there's a lot of fucking comments. George taking Gane. Okay, fair enough. Ciryl beats John, the first fighter to defeat him. He also become the UFC heavyweight champion. You guys' opinion, what's due for his legacy, dude? If he beats John Jones, it puts Gane in like the upper echelon of heavyweights ever. You know, it really does. Getting underdog money on Gane versus an older heavier Jones not fought in 3 years is the bet to make. Marcus, I'm with you. I definitely feel like that's the way to go here. Jones wins, fair enough. Again, you're going to see strong opinions either way, guys. Gane. Jones should be at least 200, fair enough. Gane destroys Jones' calves and get down the first. I think he's got to get him down too. I think on the feet he's going to get in trouble here. Jones looks weird as heavyweight. Well, we'll see how it looks in this fight. Discussion earlier. Personally, I think Jones was dominant. Yeah, I mean, like, again, that run I just mentioned was 12 fucking years ago. It was so long. The Gustafsson fight was a decade ago, which is crazy. Time goes by fast. Gane gets like 4 or 5 early leg kicks. That's the other thing with Jones. He always has those like skinny legs, although I'm pretty sure it's thicker now. Talking about weight class guys moving up. Yeah, and someone mentioned DC moved up in one. That's true. Well, they have a cocaine spare sponsor for this main event. They have to. There we go. How can you trust Gane after going for a leg lock? I hope he learned from that, right? I agree with John Jones's IQ. It's the best in the game. Jones is a new camp. Dude, if I saw the training partners, it's like Maurice Green, Dontel Mays, Jorgen De Castro. Who's the other guy, Marcel? Walt Harris. Ugh. I mean, it's not great training partners. Like, at the same time, I don't know who Ciryl Gane's training with in France. I don't know if it's anything better. Gane wins is immediate rematch warranted. Depends how he wins. Depends how the fight goes. Have to admit though, just the fact he's moving up, win or loss makes his legacy more impressive. There's just a lot of comments here. This guy loves John Jones in the fight. There's so many comments. I'm just trying to go through them. Same thought for me, Marcel. Thought Gane first. Don't think I'd pick against Jones. That's totally fair. Do you think whoever wins destroys Stipe? I think so. I think whoever wins beats Stipe. Do you think GC would come out of retirement? That would be interesting. That would definitely be interesting. I don't know. You don't see that happening? No.
I think DC is at a happy place. He's happy with commentating, and he really doesn't need to go another John Jones rivalry. I think I don't see that happening. Maybe in the back of his head, it's still eating on him. You know what I mean? But I don't see that happening. To be really honest,
John's only current finishes against Chase Sherman. No, he didn't fight Chase. That's funny. Gustafsson, yeah, this is only finish. He thinks it's going to be a historic event for sure. It's going to be interesting, guys. That's what I want to say. Like, I mean, it's a very intriguing fight. Again, Marcel, anytime you have like, what's it called? Like this much, like on the line between two guys, like this is a massive fight. I think it's going to be a really intriguing fight. I can't wait to see it. So yeah, Parker Porter. That's true. He did knock out Parker, or he knocked him out, I think, or submitted him way early in his career. Concentrating with the French grapplers and a tall kickboxer, that helps. Nagano would Jones win the belt and Colin come back.
Gane actually training with a Dutch kickboxer, man, with Imad Hadar. He flew him in.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's hard to say like who has the better training partner, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, well, what was it last time? I don't know who said that. A friend of mine says, I think Bisping said, your training partners make you or something or whatever. He probably forgot that Conor McGregor and Artem Lobov was a training partner, but I don't know with who did he say that again. That was on Saturday. It was like, yeah, you got that great training partner in this corner. I don't know anymore who it was. You know, you guys got to help me if you remember, but I don't know anymore.
Anyways, it's going to be a really good fight. I can't wait for it.
Beertje can't let it go.
Oh, sorry, you couldn't answer it now. Sorry about this, Beertje. I wanted to go through the preview first. Anything you want to say to this?
Let me. I know you don't like Conor, but what did you think of him versus Alvarez? I wasn't really watching at the time, so what's he expecting?
He was the favorite, but not big. Favorite.
Yeah, I was an Alvarez during that fight, but Conor was obviously better that fight, so he won that fight. But he shouldn't have never got that fight, because he never fought at lightweight before. He got the fight of a majority decision win over Nate Diaz, so but. Yeah, he deserved to win that fight, definitely, 100%.
If Buffer mentions Cocaine Bear during the introductions, he's going to be like the main event of the evening, brought to you by Cocaine Bear, John Jones versus Ciryl Gane. Tough, going to be a banger this year. I think so too. Yeah, the line for the Alvarez fight was very close. I think Conor was favored though. I'll double check it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the favorite. I remember being like people weren't sure though because he moved up in weight, right? And Alvarez was coming off that, I think he knocked out RDA, right? Before that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, true. The title fight.
Checking right now. Yeah,
Fitzgerald,
Conor was minus 160. Minus 160. What were you saying? Sorry?
Fitzgerald said that, not Bisping. My bad.
For what? Oh, this thing? Yeah. After losing to Nagano Lopez through a Dagestan heavyweight sample champ. All right, fair enough. If you beat the champ, doesn't make you the rightful challenger, for sure. Marcel, do you know if the UFC is coming back to Virginia, Washington, D.C.? I don't know. Have you heard anything?
No, the only thing that I've heard is what Ariel said about UFC 288 might be in Newark, New Jersey, in the Prudential Center.
I thought there was a Prudential Center. Oh, okay. Makes sense. Is 287... Are they going to Barclays or no? I thought they were supposed to
287 is Miami-Dade.
Oh, they moved it there. That's right. Yeah.
Or Date Arena. I don't know what
they changed the name. It was Crypto.com Arena, and then that guy... Sam Fried Bankman or something, I think his name is, or Sam Bankman Fried. You know that guy? He had the crypto scam guy?
Yeah.
All those Bitcoin guys, man. They're all, didn't go too well for them after COVID. Once people started leaving their houses again and they realized that there's more out there than just Bitcoin, the price went down. Although I guess it could always go up in the future. Anyways, John Jones trained with other good heavyweights or light heavyweights. I was shocked. Yeah.
Keith Jardine.
Keith Jardine, the Dean of Mean. You had to pick a celebrity boxing fight for Dana White versus Helwani. Oh, that'd be nice. That would be a good fight.
For Dana, Tito Ortiz.
Yeah. Pato. Zarabak Sabanov. I don't know him. FTX was a CIA op. Oh, there you go. So that's not good. The other thing I was going to say is, we'll just get out here in a minute, but our guy Eric Cowell from MiamiNews.com, Marcel, I don't know if you saw him today break some news. I'm not sure if it was confirmed, but Luke Rockhold coming out of I thought he retired after the fight with Paulo Costa, right? He's coming out to fight in bare knuckle fighting against Mike Perry. I don't see it going well for him. This is so bad. I mean, he's obviously doing it for the money, and I can't blame the guy because I know BKFC pays guys really good money, but I think he gets fucking smashed.
Did you saw BKFC being going after Sean Strickland on Twitter, man? What the hell?
I saw that. Yeah, they don't like him for some reason.
Yeah, and then they were like, "We will never sign. We are more class. We won't sign Sean Strickland." Then somebody replied, "Yeah, but you guys signed Greg Hardy."
Hardy and all these other scrubs. Yeah, I know. Or Bigfoot. When they fight Bigfoot Silva, should never been
Bigfoot.
George asked your upset picks. Okay, let's just go through it really quick. We'll get out of here in a second, George. I have a few, and Marcel had a few. So first off, consensus dog. We had one again, and I think our consensus dog Marcel have been pretty good this year. I mean, last week we had Levitt. I think he did close as a small favorite, but at the time he was the dog. This week we both picked Vivi Araujo plus 110. We both like her. I liked Gane as a dog. I also took Trevin Jones as a dog. So I took 3 dogs. I usually take a couple dogs, 2 or 3 at a card, because usually that's how many wins. Well, it depends on the card, but last week I didn't pick too many. Marcel picked Vivi. He took Manny Martinez at plus 210, and he took Marquez at plus 105. I think that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You took Brunson or no? I can't remember. You took Brunson? And Brunson, plus 200, which I think there is some value on that, but I'm just not going to pick him. I do think that line's a little high, though. So, yeah, Marcel took 4 dogs. I took 3. You'd have to imagine that at least a couple of those will probably come through. I would have seen. It's just hard to know which one.
Guys,
send me a couple of videos. Thanks, buddy. I'll check it out after.
Gotta go soon enough to take a piss.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here, Marcel. Let's just answer these last couple of questions. Love Gane and Marab. Yeah, you like the dogs. Glintz is sad. Former chance for financially secure. Fair enough. George, appreciate you, man. Always enjoy having you in the chat. Oh yeah, Greg Hardy got knocked out. I think that was last week. All right, we'll get out of here, guys. Marcel wants to go to the bathroom, and I gotta get going too. All right, Marcel, we'll end it here. Thanks again, guys, for everyone joining us. It was a really good podcast today. A lot of people in the chat and the comments, which is awesome. Love it. Hopefully, our picks do well. We'll see. My Twitter at @MMADamMartinham, Big Marcel24, Twitter, Instagram. Also on my bookies.com, got my best bets coming out this week. My article, I think it's coming out tomorrow. MyMainNews.com for the news. MMAOddsFavorite.com for all your odds. We also have a PFL card. Got the odds up for that one there. Marcel, you can check out him on his Twitter, and like I said, and then there's Eurosport Netherlands. Check out his other podcast he does with Dennis and Gilbert. Marcel, thanks again, man, for doing it. Appreciate you guys sticking around the chat. And someone said that piss bottle, Marcel. You got to get that ready for next podcast.
Yeah,
right?
you can suck my bottle, dude.
All right, guys. I think that's a good way to end it. Take care, everyone. Talk to you guys next Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Peace.